think spreading the gospel was probably the first form of marketing.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that I realized in this DGen space is these are the best evangelists in the world that just don't know what they should be evangelizing.
Right. Web3 is changing. The largest ticket seller in the world. Tesla. Elon Musk just changed his Twitter logo.
Real quick, I would be remiss to ask about the Loudmouth name origin story. I was looking for that a little bit.
Did you ever find it?
No, I did not.
All right. You ready? You want to finish him real quick?
No, it's fine.
You sure?
Yeah, it's good. I don't even remember the point. I got enamored in whatever he was talking about after that. So
it's hard not to.
It's all right.
Yeah. So where's the origin story of Loudmouth.Eth?
Well, the .eth is just to be an ENS, right?
Right.
The .eth wasn't there in the original, and then when ENS is, I found out about them. I didn't have to remember this big long number. I could just say Loudmouth.eth, and you go right to my wallet. That's why the .eth came on. But so I grew up everything that I just said I wasn't, and when I was 25, I grew up with no dad, single mom, and I was just a hellion to the world. I was drug dealer, alcoholic, womanizer. I was horrible. When I was 25, I had an encounter with Jesus, and it transformed my entire life. And so all those things kind of dissipated over time, out of my life. And I started to read the Bible, and I realized that this wasn't a book of thou shalt nots. It's actually a book of promises, and it changed my whole life and made me, I dropped out of school after 8th grade. It made me a multi-millionaire. And I was like, and Tony Robbins gets all this stuff in here. This is the secrets to the world.
Right.
This is not a bunch of rules. This is a book of thou shalt haves, man.
Right.
And I was pretty upset that I was 25 and nobody really told me that, and all these professing Christians. And so I made a deal with Jesus to be a loudmouth about him for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And so I started a ministry where we would go to the streets and in the middle of bars and a bunch of DJs and love on people and not hold signs up saying that God hated anybody, but actually just be the change I wanted to see and to show love, And I started that ministry called Loudmouth Ministries. And then when I got into the Web3 space, I didn't realize that people didn't dox. I didn't know what that was.
Right.
So I was using my name, Adam Patterson.
Right.
And then I heard them start talking about that and in Discord and on Spaces and stuff. And so I was like, well, I'll just use Loudmouth. And I just left the ministry off.
Wow. That's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I would have never thought that. I would have thought the opposite.
Now you'll never forget it, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's what I said. You give me 5 minutes. So yeah, that's the origination of the Loudmouth name. And it worked out perfect because I ended up being in marketing, and being a loudmouth in marketing is pretty good marketing name. Yeah. And then most DJs smoke weed and they call it Loud. So then they shortened my name to Loud too, which was also marketing. Nothing I came out with a plan, right? It just happened. Yeah. And then I looked back at what happened and then realized how marketable everything was. And so now I can be a little more strategic with it and grow, because everything was just natural. I did not try to be a social media influencer or anything like this.
I think spreading the gospel was probably the first form of marketing.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that I realized in this DGen space is these are the best evangelists in the world that just don't know what they should be evangelizing.
Right.
And I think that God has got a plan. I really do. And so I asked him to send me. And here I am.
Hey, thanks for watching The Merge. We've got a ton more stuff for you to watch on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, everywhere. Check us out.